planet of Lana 2 is set 2 years after the events of the first game, which, if you haven't played, I highly recommend. But don't worry if not, because you will get a brief recap which gives you a rundown of the events leading up to the second game. Just like the first game, it is set on the planet Novo, which is an Earth-like planet. Whereas the first game didn't have much variety in the locations you visit, the developers this time around have wanted to give us more. You'll traverse across a peaceful fishing village, verdant forests, among other areas. Each one has had a lot of care put into them and they feel like believable places. You will play as Lana, who lives in the aforementioned fishing village. She also lives with her sister, Elo, Rakuen, and another girl. Lana is also accompanied by Mui, which can only be described as a monkey dog thing.
A weird monkey dog thing.
The general gist of the story is that technology has been adapted, but different factions have different ideas on how it can be used. Lana's tribe use it for defence and peaceful means. While you are moving through a village, you will notice how they are using the machines under their control to aid in day-to-day life. They have also commandeered some as transport. It's all very harmonious. However, a different tribe, the Dingjala, use it to gather Novo's natural resources without any care for the consequences of the animals and people who live there. During those sections, you will get a feel for the effect that they are having on the world. This is displayed by changing colours, dead animals, as well as a change in music. But I won't explain why you're going on this journey, I will leave it up to you to find out. The developers have opted to use a made-up language with no subtitles, which works well. It leaves a lot open to interpretation, but coupled with the excellent animation, voice acting, and body language, you always have an inclination on what the characters are feeling and saying. Likewise, Mui is also wonderfully expressive, and yes, you can pet it. On your journey, you will start to piece together bits of information on Mui's history and what exactly happened to the crash ship from the first game. One of the things that sets this game apart from the first is they have expanded Lana's moveset. In the first game it was very basic. Lana could only run and jump, but now she can wall jump and dash. Mui also has the ability to hack into machines and take control of various creatures that inhabit the world. Like the first game, this game also has puzzles. The majority of them are fairly easy to figure out. There were a few which had me puzzled for a few minutes, but once you figure them out, there's a good sense of accomplishment. One of those puzzles was where web was blocking my progress. Mui could take control of a creature that would create more webs, but there were also machines patrolling that could set fire to those webs. It wasn't as simple as rolling the creature up and creating another web that could start a chain reaction, because there was also a puddle in the way that would end up killing the creature. I had to stick the creature to the rocks and then to the approaching machines to get to the other side. I could then create a small web to the blockage. The machine would then spot me, zap me, and then the obstruction would be cleared. Said creature did not survive though. They rarely do in this game. In between puzzles, you'll be doing various bits of running, jumping, and falling. The movement is great and feels very fluid, but there was one or two bits of frustration where I was sure I jumped at the correct time, only to watch Lana plummet like a rock. There will be instances where you have to take control of Mui. You won't control it directly, but you will guide it by hovering and selecting where you would like it to go. Sometimes this can be a bit finicky, but it's nothing that detracts from the overall experience. There is no combat in the game, so any enemies you come across will quickly eat or zap Lana and Mui. You'll need to carefully plan how you proceed, because as soon as an enemy sees you, you have very little to no chance of getting away. There aren't any difficulty modes. What you see is what you get. In the way of collectibles, there are some holograms that you have to seek out by going off the beaten path, but finding them isn't too taxing, and I wouldn't say it's necessarily worth it to seek them all out if you are struggling, because you don't appear to get anything out of it apart from an achievement and something to look at. My playtime was 8.8 hours, which is a nice amount, and it means if you want to revisit the world and characters, it's not going to be too taxing to boot back up again. In terms of performance, I had a rock solid 120 FPS throughout pretty much the whole game, with only some dips here and there. The game also looks fantastic with a hand-painted world, and the different biomes you traverse through are wonderful. The soundtrack is also top-notch, and is one that I would happily listen to once it has been released. This would be perfect for a handheld like the Steam Deck or Switch 2. I don't have much to complain about, bar some already mentioned nitpicky bits, like controlling Mui can be a bit awkward sometimes, and the jumps seem to be a bit hit or miss. Other than that, it looks great, sounds great, and performs great. It is available on the PC and pretty much every console, so whatever your choice of platform is, you're well covered. The price is $16.99 or your regional equivalent, which I think is a very good price for the length and gameplay that is on offer. This brings me on to my closing thoughts. Planet of Lana 2 is a very good game. Yes, it isn't revolutionary and won't change the industry, nor does it need to, but it does what it set out to do and achieves it with high marks, and sometimes that's all we need. Not every game needs to be a multi-million-dollar behemoth that takes hundreds of people across multiple studios around the world to develop. So on that basis, if you enjoyed the first game, like this genre, or want to try something new that you wouldn't normally buy, I recommend it and look forward to what the developers do next.